Welcome back to After the Snap. I am your host, Tasha Pierce. So, yeah, it's over here. You can see that right there. That's me. And today, you'll notice that we've got a brand new title, brand new name for this show. Is going to be Cinematic Multiversal News, and that way we can talk about a little bit of everything. Because I got things to say. I've got opinions on other things besides the TV shows and series that we all love so much, but we do have some of that on the docket as well. Um, I would be remiss if I didn't begin this show at the absolute least talking about what occurred in Uvalde, Texas yesterday, which was a huge, huge tragedy. Huge tragedy. Um, hey there, Lysandra. How goes it? So we're gonna start off with the serious stuff. So I'm glad you could join me too, Lysandra. Um, yeah, this was a particularly terrible, terrible situation out in Uvalde, Texas. In fact, as this news was breaking yesterday, I was talking on the phone to Lysandra, and the alert went across my phone, and I looked at it, and I said, "Oh, it's a active shooter at this school." But for some reason, I felt like they were going to get that situation under control, and that there would not be the sheer amount of loss that occurred yesterday, and it's a doggone shame. It's a shame that we're continuing to go through this, right? Um, so let's just talk about, and these articles, of course, are via Deadline. Um, we're going to talk about what we know as far as the facts of this situation, and then I'm going to go into the what I think about it, and then we're going to move on to happier subjects, right? So we see that 19 fourth grade students and at least two adults, one of whom was their teacher, were killed Tuesday in that shooting at Elementary School in Uvalde. That one is closer to San Antonio than me here in Houston. Um, all of the children were in a single classroom. So they didn't stand a chance. Once a person enters a classroom and opens fire, where are the children going to go? The other children at least had an opportunity to escape, but those children in that classroom uh, were like goldfish in a bowl. They were just trapped. So we've heard from Governor Abbott, who is the governor of Texas. He said at a news conference on Wednesday that 17 others were wounded, including three officers and the gunman's grandmother, who she was shot in the face before he went over to the school to attack. But the injuries that all of them uh, suffered were not life threatening. But he shot his grandma in the face first. This 18-year-old gunman was a high school dropout, no criminal history, no known mental health history. He was shot, in fact, he was taken down completely by the uh, officers on the scene. So um, there is an identity of this shooter. I'm not going to share it. This article didn't share it. I'm not going to share it. But we found out as this story continues to unfold that this shooter had wrote several messages to his online friends on Facebook. One of them, within a half an hour of this attack, now, one of these messages said, "I'm going to do something to her right now." And then another one read, "I just shot my grandma in the head." 5 minutes later, uh, was about 10 minutes before the rampage, the young man wrote, "I'm going to go shoot up an elementary school right now." So we got a friend who knows what's going on, and I'm not 100% sure if this online friend is who contacted police, or if grandma was able to contact police and tell them that her grandson had shot her. I'm unclear on which one of those things happened. Um, the shooter crashed his truck, ran over to the school with the AR-15, which he bought legally here in Texas on his 18th birthday just last week. So, okay, he went over there and he did what he did. He shot that classroom up. They're saying that this is a kid who had been bullied. That's an unfortunate situation, but it is not a license to kill. So Governor Abbott, one of his talking points was that before coming out here, we had a long discussion with law enforcement at all levels, community leaders, and elected officials. I asked the sheriff and others an open-ended question and got the same answer from the sheriff as well as the mayor of Uvalde. The question was, what is the problem here? And he says that the answer was, we have a problem with mental health illness in this community. So now we know what the official angle is going to be from our government here in Texas. It's going to go with the mental health thing. And then we're going to talk about, how we need mental health. Well, I mean, how we need better mental health awareness, I suppose, even though it is widely known. I really share my situation with my audience that I suffer from some mental illnesses. I won't be specific, but I suffer from some mental illnesses, and here I've tried to get help, and I don't get help. They'll listen. If I call the suicide line, they'll listen. But as far as and I shouldn't have said that word, that'd get me blanked. But if I call that number, they'll listen, but I get no help. So if we think that the mental health crisis in Texas is the big problem, when people ask for help, why are we not getting them help? That's first and foremost, right? But if I'm mentally ill and I'm telling you I'm mentally ill, or you know from my behavior and my actions that something is just not right, why would you sell me a gun? Why would you sell me a gun? Would you sell me a gun? I've told you this. I've told you I've used the S word. I told you I've called that number, right? And I tell you that I have a mental illness, right? Would you give me a gun knowing that there is a potential, because sometimes I think about doing that? Would you give me a gun? Well, the state of Texas will. State of Texas will certainly give me one, but they won't give me help for my mental health or my mental illness. But okay, as we move on, we had some people were late to the party. Vice President Kamala Harris, she addressed the tragedy late this afternoon, saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. As a nation, we have to have the courage to take action and understand the nexus between what makes for reasonable and sensible public policy to ensure something like this never happens again. And then everybody jumps up and yells, "Yay, Kamala!" But we have been hearing the same song and dance for how many shootings this year? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. The shooting came just 10 days after a gunman killed 10 people at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. It is the 212 U.S. mass shootings this year, which we are not even halfway through yet. 212 people were either injured or killed in mass shootings. And mass shooting is defined as 4 or more people hit. There was a mass shooting same time, right around that same time in Chicago. There was one in Indiana, in Goshen, Indiana. There was. It's not. It's not something that you can box into one place. It is nationwide. So, what is the problem? What can we do? What is the common denominator in all of these things? And I'm going to tell you. I don't need to tell you. Well, we also learned that first responders at the scene could still hear the sound of gunshots when they arrived to the school, screaming children and their frantic teachers pouring out of every exit. So guess what happens when an active shooter goes to your school? All that active shooter training just goes out the window. Everybody is going to respond. Everybody's body goes into fight or flight, especially when you're talking about kids that are from the, I believe, 1st through 4th grade, maybe 2nd through 4th grade. Fathers smashed out windows and physically pulled their children out of class. That's what I mean. Shout out to the daddies and the first responders, and the first responders, the fathers. They was not playing when it came down to their babies, but it was some parents who were at work. There were some parents who had to leave jobs, or homemakers have to run from home when they hear this news. And then you get to the school and you wait and wait and wait to hear what happened, whether your child was one of the unfortunate ones or whether your child made it out okay. And in a situation where this is a very small community, everybody is going to be hurt, because if your child wasn't lost, you know the person who lost a child. Then now the politicians are starting to politic. And I'm talking both sides of the aisle. It's a whole lot of talk. But one of the better sound bites, I will give him this, was from Senator Chris Murphy. He is a Democrat out of Connecticut, I believe. But he had a pretty good, if you got to be a politician and have a sound bite, he did a pretty good speech on how on how this thing needs to be addressed. Oh, I see Angus. Hi there, Angus. Angus said, I went to all kinds of schools during K through 12, 18 different schools, and I never had an active shooter drill. Now I'm a bit older. The active shooter stuff, I think, started kind of after Columbine. So I was already out of school and stuff. But yeah, me neither. We had fire drills, we had tornado drills. It never was even a question whether or not an active shooter was going to come in the classroom. It was unheard of at the time. So we're going to listen to this clip of Senator Murphy, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more, and then we're going to move into happier topics, okay? If it's going to play.
What are we doing? Why do you spend all this time running for the United States Senate? Why do you go through all the hassle of getting this job, of putting yourself in a position of authority? If your answer is that as the slaughter increases, as our kids run for their lives, we do nothing. What are we doing? Why are you here? If not to solve as this. This isn't inevitable. These kids weren't unlucky. This only happens in this country and nowhere else. Nowhere else do little kids go to school thinking that they might be shot that day. Nowhere else do parents have to talk to their kids, as I have had to do, about why they got locked into a bathroom and told to be quiet for 5 minutes just in case a bad man entered that building. Nowhere else does that happen except here in the United States of America. And it is a choice. It is our choice to let it continue. What are we doing? In Sandy Hook Elementary School, after those kids came back into those classrooms, they had to adopt a practice in which there would be a safe word that the kids would say if they started to get thoughts in their brain about what they saw that day. If they started to get nightmares during the day, reliving stepping over their classmates' bodies as they tried to flee the school. In one classroom, that word was monkey. And over and over through the day, kids would stand up and yell monkey. And a teacher or a paraprofessional would have to go over to that kid, take them out of the classroom, talk to them about what they had seen, work them through their issues. Sandy Hook will never, ever be the same. This community in Texas will never, ever be the same. Why? Why are we here? If not to try to make sure that fewer schools and fewer communities go through what Sandy Hook has gone through, what Uvalde is going through. Our heart is breaking for these families. Every ounce of love and thoughts and prayers we can send,
thoughts and prayers,
we are sending. But I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues. Find a path forward here. Work with us to find a way to pass laws that make this less likely.
So that was, as I was talking about, oh gosh, what's his name? Senator Chris Murphy. And he pleaded with his colleagues about wanting or not wanting to have this be something that continues to happen, right? We don't want to continually have active shooter drills, shootings in our kids' schools. I don't want, I thank God got my son through school, and he graduated. I mean, he finished school through without being shot at.
What are we doing?
As far as I know, or without losing a friend or anything in a school shooting. But I got a grandchild on the way now, and many of you have children or grandchildren's brothers or sisters. You send those kids and you look at them. Do we have to look at our kids like it's the last time we'll ever see them when we send them to school? That's effed up thinking. Now, a lot of people will say, and I've heard it, and I don't think it's fair or a fair comparison, but now people know how Black people feel. No, not a fair comparison. That's a whole different subject. Right now, I don't care what color the child is. I don't care where they're from, what part of the world they're from. Children should not have to experience this. Not in a country that we call the greatest country on earth. We live. Gosh, we live better than maybe half as far as what we have access to and our freedoms. But sometimes our freedom is stepping on the neck of the next person's liberty and freedom. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, D, I agree, honey. It's effing heartbreaking. It's fucking heartbreaking. Yes, it is. This is the same old song and dance, the same old bylines from our politicians. We heard from Barack Obama today. We heard from pretty much pretty much everybody who we would expect to hear from in a situation like this. Now, we also know that the NRA, the gun lobby, has deep pockets. And there are a lot of people who, even after this tragedy and all the other tragedies, and like I said, we on day 144 of 2022. There has already been 212 mass shootings in the United States. So instead of looking at the problem is, okay, we could say the problem is mental health, but then when we have a person who is mentally ill, should they be able to access a weapon? No. That's easy. No, they should not. If a person, the same way that we regulate cigarettes and drinking for 18 or for 21-year-olds, you have to be 21 to drink. You have to be 21 to buy cigarettes. The same way we regulate that, we need to regulate weapons, because this boy bought all these weapons the day he turned 18. Really? So we don't want them to smoke and kill themselves. Let me get this right. We don't want them to drink and potentially kill some people while they're driving, but we will give them AR-15s. Oh gosh. So in related, we're gonna be related for a minute. The finale of the series FBI was pulled, I guess, because because the topic was a little bit too close to what occurred. And we always, well, I know I do. I always talk about how art imitates life, but sometimes life imitates art. They were about to have this episode that was concerning a shooter or a possible shooter at a school, and they had to pull it. And I think that was a good idea. I think that was the best move to make in light of what occurred earlier that day. As I, like many of you, looked online at the tragedy and found myself with, feeling that anxiety start to well up, because we are bringing children into the world, and I've got nieces and I got nephews and I've got family, and this is the world we giving them. I mean, we're gonna get to some happier things, and I'm gonna be so happy to give that to my grandchild. But this world that we're handing them, we're not right. This is not right, and it's on us. If you're an adult, I'm gonna say, if you're over 25, it's on us. We can't trust the politicians. Forget Republican, Democrat, fuck them all. We have to do something. We have to do something. We can't wait on them. Waiting on them has gotten us what? 212 mass shootings in 144 days. Look at that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. And it just only gets worse, right? But anywho, I got another bad news story, and it's kind of bad news. If you are a sports fan, then yeah, Lysandra, that's sad, honey. And this next story, probably, if you're a sports fan, I have gotten more and more into track and field since I've left. Pretty much, I left the NBA alone because I don't have cable anymore, and I left the NFL alone because I just don't like their practices. But I've been watching more and more track and field. Now, there's this track and field athlete, and she was just interviewed on that HBO show. Gosh, what's the name of the show? HBO Inside. Is it Inside Sports? D, I know you know. Real Sports. That's what it is. I was gonna say I know Dino. She's just as big a sports fanatic as I am or used to be. So her name is Caster Semenya, and she is an athlete from South Africa. South Africa. So she I'm gonna read this article for y'all. I'm not about to just spitball it. This is via ESPN, okay? Double Olympic champion Caster Semenya said she offered to show her vagina to track officials when she was just 18 years old uh, to prove she was a female. She also accused the World Athletics body of making her take medication that tortured her and made her fear that she was going to have a heart attack, according to a report on Monday in British newspaper The Telegraph. Now, the Telegraph published what it said were parts of an interview the South African runner did with HBO Real Sports. Now, the full HBO interview is available now in the United States. It became available yesterday. But during this interview, the Telegraph and Semenya reflected on the 2009 World Championships in Berlin, where she won the 800-meter world title in dominant fashion as an 18-year-old newcomer at her first major athletics event. So this is me, Tasha. This is no longer ESPN. This is me. But that is practically unheard of, right? That a 18-year-old would go to the Olympics, win and win in a dominant manner because have been participating in world sports on a world level for years, have built up strength and stamina, and they know what to expect in these big situations, these big arenas. This 18-year-old came in and knocked everybody out the park, right? But her performance and muscular physique led the world track body to order the teenager to undergo sex tests, causing a firestorm of controversy. She had to have sex tests because they thought she probably had a penis. Yeah, they thought she had a penis. I told them it's fine. I'm a female. I don't care if you want to see. I'm a woman. I'll show you my vagina. All right. Semenya said in the interview with HBO Real Sports. Following her world title win, Semenya was forced by the World Track Body to take medication that artificially lowered her naturally high testosterone levels. So, testosterone is it's the hormone that kind of makes a man a man. It builds muscle. Now, there are traces of testosterone in every woman. We all have traces. Some of us have a little bit more than others. If you've ever seen a woman who grows facial hair and that kind of thing, they have looked a higher level of testosterone, right? Some people are born with abnormally high testosterone levels, and Caster Semenya is one of those people. However, Caster Semenya is a woman. She was born a woman. And I know that you guys know where I'm going, and I don't want you to mistake what I'm saying for being a transphobe or not being an ally, because there are things I could tell you that I identify, and I've told you guys before, so I don't have to keep repeating. But so I don't want you to think that I'm transphobic when I say this. But we've got males or people who were born biologically with an X and a Y chromosome, right? So that makes them biologically male, even if they later they feel like they identify more with being a female and not an X and a Y. Yeah, X and a Y, X and a Y. I had to think. Okay. She was born with two X chromosomes. She doesn't have a Y chromosome. She's born with two X chromosomes. We have people who were born with the X and the Y chromosome who began at some point in their young lives to identify as a female. And they're still participating in sports that are populated by females. Does that not give them a clear advantage? So why would a woman who was just born with high testosterone levels have to take medication to suppress her testosterone levels if she wants to compete on the world stage? Y'all getting what I'm saying? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? It does that make sense? Because what is happening and what I fear is happening is we are doing everything that we can as a society to be inclusive and to make sure that people if they want to identify as a male, we allow it. If they want to identify as a female, we allow it. But we are of the females that were born with two X chromosomes. You get what I'm saying? So we're fighting for rights but it ain't across the board, because this year we've already lost, or it's rumored that we're losing Roe versus Wade, right? That in Texas and some other states, they've already made it illegal in some ways to have abortions, no matter what the situation. So if I'm raped and I don't find out until 6 weeks later, that's about the time they tell you that you can't have an abortion after. Does that make sense? That I can't have no kids, but if somebody who can have children, but they don't want this child, we already have a situation or an epidemic of people doing wrong things to these kids, whether it's shooting them up in schools or whether it's getting them at home and you didn't want them, they're getting in your way, they stopping your whatever it is that you're trying to do. So what are they doing? They're hurting or killing the children. And I've got plenty of examples. So do we continue this? How do we go forward? Somebody tell me, help me. How do we go forward if for trans folks to gain rights at the same time straight women are losing rights? What Angus said, this kind of issue exists because the sports are segregated by gender, sex. Consider marathons where it doesn't matter and everyone competes. Right. Build the best team with the best athletes, male or female. Or if you're going to ban a person who was born with two X chromosomes and a vagina, born that way. Now, if you're going to ban her from sports, we cannot, you know what I mean? I can't just now, I don't know for sure. I haven't seen Caster Semenya pull her pants down. I don't know for sure. Maybe, maybe she's fooling us all. They gave her this medicine. It was like birth control or something to make her testosterone levels decrease. And it made her sick, made her gain weight, have panic attacks. She didn't know if she was going to have a heart attack, which is sometimes what a panic attack will feel like a heart attack. It's like stabbing yourself with a knife every day, but she had no choice. Those were her words, not mine. She said if she was 18, she wanted to run. She wanted to make it to the Olympics. That's the only option for her. She had to make it work. Now, she was allowed to compete in longer distances or in shorter races, but um, she couldn't compete in distances from 400 meters to the mile unless she agreed to again take medication to lower her testosterone levels. So she's refused, and she hasn't run an 800-meter race at a major meet since 2019. Hey, you know, and then Angus says, what's the point of that competition anyway? Determining which nation has the best athletes? Well, there she is. Don't cripple her with drugs. Right. And furthermore, the separation between nations. Now, I know all about patriotism and how we want to represent the United States as this great place, but then we just had a story about kids being killed for the umpteenth time. So how great is that? Is America great again? Wink, wink. But anywho, um, there's got to be a better middle ground. It's got to be a better middle ground than giving this young person drugs against her will. Well, not against her will, because she had a choice. She doesn't have to take them, but if she wants to compete, she has to take them. You know what, y'all? I've given you enough setup for this story. You guys know where I was going with what are we thinking as a society? What are we thinking? Why are we not protecting women's rights a little bit more? So watch that on HBO, y'all. I ain't gonna harp on it for too much longer, because this week during the now I will say that Angus, for sure, there's coercion involved. So she's not being told you have to do it, but if you want to do this, you got to do that. And it's unfair. It's unfair. She doesn't want to take it. She said they make her feel bad. Why force that girl to take it? This week, the other day, we got the Thor Love and Thunder, the full trailer, right? During the All-Star game. So I've loved the trailer. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not important enough, and my shit is gonna get blocked in all nations if I play it, right? But what was really different about this trailer than that little mini trailer, which was not once I've seen this trailer, I got far more hyped for this movie. I'm very excited now. I was not as excited before as I am now. I'm very excited because we have met Gorr, the God Butcher, Christian Bale's Gorr. We have found out how he will be rendered, or possibly, because there's still time for them to make changes, but we found out how he'll be rendered in Thor Love and Thunder. And if you didn't know, I did a Marvel Cinematic University video about Gorr the God Butcher and why he really hates gods. He really hates gods. But looked good. The action in this trailer was far more everything was more ramped up about this trailer. I loved it. There is so much that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully you guys are too, looking forward to seeing what goes on in Thor Love and Thunder. And let me know in the comments if you're excited about this movie, because I truly am. I can't wait to see exactly what else Gorr brings to the table outside of what the little glimpse that we had in the trailer. We saw what is it? What is it called? The Necro Sword. Yeah, all black, the Necro Sword. We saw his sword. It didn't look symbiotic. And I don't know if that is because of the whole Venom belongs to Sony thing, but they do have this partnership, and it was alluded that there was this goo that got left behind in Spider-Man No Way Home from Eddie Brock. So is that, are we going to see how, and I hope I'm not losing y'all, how the All Black that attached to Gorr after he saw Null and the other god fighting. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I got a video. Just look for it. It says who is Gorr the God Butcher. It's from a couple of days ago. I really, really break down who he is and why he's so angry. I hope we see all of that. I hope we see his what pissed him off, and I hope we see when he got the symbiote, because that's what it all comes down to. There, that the All Black, his sword and the armor that he wears is supposed to be a symbiote. And when we hear the word symbiote, you know that there is a very well-known symbiote in the Marvel universe, maybe not the MCU, but in the Marvel universe, which is Venom. We also saw Carnage. We saw a couple other iterations of a symbiote, but this was the first symbiote, and Gorr has been doing his thing for millennia. He has been just going planet to planet to planet, finding the gods and killing them, and he has a reason that might make him sympathetic. It might make him sympathetic, but yeah, I can't wait to see it. Let me know in the comments if you guys are looking forward to Thor Love and Thunder as well, because it is definitely higher up on my list than it was just last week. I think I got far more excited when I saw this trailer. It really looks good. And there are some upset people, because I'm guessing in the comics, Gorr, number one, you'll see when if you watch the video, or you will see if you look online for a picture of Gorr the God Butcher. He ain't have no nose, right? So people are really upset that Christian Bale has a nose. They want his nose to be gone, because Gorr the God Butcher don't have no nose, y'all. That I don't know. And then they're also upset about these tentacles that he would have on his head. It almost reminded me of Ahsoka Tano, but anywho, he had those as well, and he doesn't appear that the Christian Bale iteration is going to have it. Hey there, Thomas. You're about in the middle now. You caught us in the middle. I'm not about to end just yet, so you're a little early. Angus said it might be in Bale's contract that they don't get to take away his nose, right? Or we're acting like this is a done deal. They got till August to keep tweaking with this movie, yeah. There was, like, when you watch that trailer and you saw how things would, whenever we saw Gorr, things would revert to black and white. Like, he literally sucks. Because he's attached to the All Black. I'm guessing that he just drains any place that he is of color, because he himself is consumed by this dark being. Y'all let me know what you think, but I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. We're gonna stay with the MCU for just a bit. This week, some other crazy stuff. Look, the MCU wants us to think, and they always do this shit. They put a little something out there and they make you speculate on it, right? Well, on Twitter, there was a survey, and the survey was only presented to select people. It was just a select amount of people chosen to take this survey. And it was a survey that was conducted not by Disney itself, but by an outside company, right? But this outside survey company was polling Disney Plus patrons regarding upcoming projects. And if you notice here, and now hopefully you can see it, I'm going to make it as big as I can. If you notice here, the photo that they used, first of all, one of the upcoming projects is Fantastic Four, along with Ms. Marvel, Spider-Man, Freshman Year, and Armor Wars, right in the middle of all of these television shows, because these are all TV shows. Right in the middle, it says Fantastic Four. And which one are you? How excited are you for this? And in the such. But the photo that they used, that is really what jumped out at people. Now, spoiler for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is about to come out my mouth. So if you don't want to hear it, exit out and come back in just a couple seconds. Come back in about 2 minutes. Y'all ready? Y'all gone? I mean, if you're gone, you can't answer, right? Okay. If you saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we know that Reed Richards appears, and that the actor playing Reed Richards in Universe 838 is John Krasinski. Now, I mean, the fandom has been screaming, we want John Krasinski and his wife, Emily Blunt, we want them for the Fantastic Four. Then this company puts out this poll for Disney Plus patrons, and it has John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. Now, there has been calls for another actor as well, right? Another actor that people have been calling for the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, is Zac Efron. And it's timely because I was just talking to y'all about Zac Efron in that horrible Firestarter movie a few days ago. So full circle, right? But Zac Efron, I was saying then, he needs a better role. He needs better roles because he's playing in some bad movies and he's a fantastic actor. Well, rumor, this is all speculation, that he might be even appearing as the Human Torch. And the only person or character that we have not heard or seen anything from as of yet is the Thing. I am super excited to see if any of this pans out, but if any of it is true, what part would you want to be true? And if it's true and you don't like it, who would you prefer to see playing these characters? Would you prefer John Krasinski and his wife, Emily Blunt? Or do you want to see another set of superstars playing? Let me know in the comments. Angus says, I'd have a Doctor Doom show rather than a Fantastic Four. And the thing is, Angus, I agree. Because they put this Fantastic Four amongst all of these TV shows. And I'm like, okay, that's not a TV show. Fantastic Four is definitely a movie. Definitely. You're going to get big money. You know, that's the first family of Marvel. You're going to make big money. So don't sacrifice your $1 billion or more than $1 billion, with a TV show for this. I'm almost saying that we should get a full movie of Doctor Doom too. Almost. But if they didn't want to do that, then yes, the next best thing would be to put Doctor Doom's backstory and how he became who he is in a Disney Plus series, and make it in the vein of, make it a seriously gritty kind of series, not a Hawkeye series, but more of a Daredevil series. You get what I'm saying? Keep it raw, keep that energy real. I think that would be fantastic. Yes, Yes, Angus, I am in complete agreement with you about Doctor Doom being a show, uh, especially over Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four has to be a movie, and it's going to be like several movies, right? But our introduction to them should be in a movie, and I mean the 616 version. And I'm wondering how they're going to make this happen. How are they going to how are they going to introduce the 616 uh, Fantastic Four? Where have they been for all this time? Um, I'm pretty sure we're going to find out soon. I'm pretty sure we would not have seen a Reed Richards in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness if they didn't have plans. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. As we move on, there was a leak this week. Now, this is a leak, and I shared this leak, and I don't particularly like leaks. I've told you guys a million times before. Leaks, I got a few leaks though. It's concerning Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we have heard that it is rumored that we're going to get Tenoch Huerta, this actor, to play Namor the Submariner, right? Namor has not been, we haven't uncovered anybody. They haven't announced it officially that it's going to be Tenoch Huerta. But then this image that was leaked by Den of Nerds, and Den of Nerds is a YouTube channel, and they have decent content. He's kind of getting a little negative, kind of a little lately, but I still like him. Yeah, I still like him. Well, he leaked this photo, this blurry photo, just the way it is, and there are people who are saying that this is a rendering of Tenoch Huerta as Namor. So the question is, do we really think that this is true? There's more to this story, but I'm going to pick up this comment over here. Angus said, 616 Fantastic Four hasn't had its origin yet. Right. So I'm like, we got to have this origin story. But, okay, do we introduce the Fantastic Four in a movie and then go back and tell the origin? You know what I'm saying? Doing it, we doing it like Black Panther was done. In Black Panther, we met him in Civil War, and then we got the Black Panther movie. That was fantastic. So to me, are we going to do the same thing? Same thing with Spider-Man, wasn't it? With the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Is that going to be how we are introduced to the Fantastic Four? I'm sorry, I got brain fog, y'all. But yeah, back on this Namor the Submariner. Big question. Big question. I'm going to do a Marvel Cinematic University episode about Namor the Submariner, but we are going to talk about what the MCU is rumored to be doing with this character. Okay. So rumor. Take it all with a grain of salt. Do not say Tasha told us. I'm telling you to take what I'm saying here with a grain of salt. They are saying that the backstory for Namor the Submariner is going to be changed. And the reason why that people are speculating that Marvel or the MCU is going to change his backstory is because it is too similar to the backstory of Aquaman, who has already been had a $1 billion movie and has already done his thing for DC. Marvel wants there to be a little separation between these two characters. And now I heard about what the plan was, quote unquote, proposed to be. And I was here for it. So I'm going to tell y'all what I heard. And if I can find the article, and you guys tell me what you think. I don't know if I got it. Let me see. Yeah, you guys. So it was originally, and this is just the quick Marvel.com character synopsis, real quick, right? The story of Namor began with his human father, an explorer named Leonard Mackenzie, used explosive charges in the process of discovery that it inadvertently caused damage to Atlantis. This gained the attention of Atlantean Princess Finn, who snuck aboard his vessel to investigate the potential enemy. You can probably guess what happened. Some things happened, and blam, we get Namor. Okay, so now we're saying, oh, so that's how Namor originally came to be. But there is a speculation in the fandom that Namor will not be having that backstory. In fact, he will not be from Atlantis at all. So I'm going to read this from Den of Geek. They are just one of many publications that are speculating the same thing. However, I like Den of Geek. I even read them when I do my my Star Trek stuff. So I like Den of Geek. So one of Marvel's earliest characters, and he is like one of the first, Namor the Submariner, is finally coming to the MCU in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, allegedly. But fans shouldn't expect Marvel to follow the comics origin story too closely. Rumors are swimming about Marvel's own aquatic antagonist, Namor the Submariner. That's another difference between Namor and Aquaman, is Aquaman identifies as a hero. Namor, not so much. Namor is like, yeah, I'm a hero under this water. I don't care too much about what goes on y'all land, right? Okay, so the character is set allegedly to make his MCU debut in November's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Where he'll allegedly be played by Mexican actor Tenoch Huerta. Now, if you watch Narcos, The Forever Purge, but if you just saw that picture that I just had a second ago, y'all were paying attention to the picture, right? If you saw that picture, then you know who Tenoch Huerta is. So in the comics, the son of a human sea captain and a princess of the undersea kingdom of Atlantis, Namor's origin story will be changed, possibly, allegedly, maybe, from its ancient Greek roots to one of Mayan culture. And that was the thing that made me ask myself way back the first time we started to hear that Namor the Submariner is going to be Tenoch Huerta. I'm like, wait a minute. But now it makes sense that you would have a Mexican actor playing this character if you're going to change the backstory. I was definitely, I'm definitely here for them changing the backstory to having a Mayan kind of uh, uh, heritage for this character. So let me see where's my where was I with this article? Okay, it's also rumored that royal guards will be joining Namor, including the character's cousin Namora, who will allegedly be played. I don't want to get into all that because that's a lot of speculation, right? I really want to get into the part where they talk about it being that where he's from is going to be part of the Mayan culture, and it is going to be centered in Central America, the waters around there. And yes, and I couldn't remember. There's what is the area Angus, because that's what I was reaching for. That the what Angus is talking about. He says, look for them to do a tie-in with the rock that killed off the dinosaurs. And that is where I was going. The big asteroid that scientists believe hit Earth. I think it was supposed to be something like 60 something miles across or something like that. It hit Earth, and that caused that extinction level event that wiped out the dinosaurs and created uh an ice, was it an ice age? Might not have been an ice age, but the planet was in darkness. Not complete darkness, but it was pretty dark with all the dirt and all this stuff that was kicked up by this asteroid. It killed off everything living besides your little insects and that sort of thing. That is where we are saying that, or they are thinking that Namor is going to be from. So, Angus, very, very good observation, sir. 6 miles across. And when the leading edge hit the back, the back end was still in space. Wow. Wow. I could not imagine, but this is what scientists say, that there is evidence that happened. But anywho, so that would be the thing that created the world where Namor lives. And that is MCU. So not the comics, MCU. And they're going to say probably the comics is from a whole different universe, that version, you know. Angus has got more. He said it hit a spot rich in sulfur, which made the millennia long winter even worse. The Yucatan Peninsula. That's what I'm. Yes. Thank you, Angus. You have been helpful, sir, as usual. Oh, so that is kind of what the rumor is that is going to happen with Namor the Submariner. Also, there were other little oops, I didn't put them up there. There were other little leaks, and I'm glad I didn't put them up there because they might leak a little too much. But there was some you know, when a movie wraps, how they will give the people who worked on the movies behind the scenes and the such, they'll give them a little parting gift, a wrap gift. And the wrap gift was like sweats and baseball hat. Now, when I saw the baseball hat that was given to the crew, it did have like almost Mayan looking, you know what? F it. Should I bring it up? Should I bring it up? Maybe I will. Let's see. Oh, it's not in here. Nope, I can't do it because I got to do too much. I'll have to go into this other thing. So yeah, the end all be all is this. If they do things that way, a war with Wakanda is going to seem a little strange. However, I have complete faith that the MCU will pull it off. Now, I'm going to go into what we got to look forward to MCU wise. Angus says, I approve Namor as a character, and I approve of them rewriting his backstory for the for the woke. Wait, what? I can't see. I don't know if it say woke or wake. For the wake of distinction. Yeah. I for the sake of distinction. That's probably what I can't see. So yeah, I feel the same way. If we got two characters, you know, in two different, and people are upset about it, of course. Of course. People are upset because they feel like, oh, Kevin Feige feels like he has to dumb down Namor because we won't understand that he and Aquaman are not the same character. If that rumor is true, if the rumor is true, that's first and foremost. Would you want to tell the same goddamn on story that that has already been told by DC? Huh? I would want my story to be different. I would want my character to be as Angus says. I would think for the sake of distinction, I would make small changes to the character. And also people need to see themselves represented on uh in films and movies, on television and movies. We know that. So the same way I felt all kinds of ways about uh Black Panther, in the same way a lot of people felt about all these other characters that we're getting, powerful women, different uh transgender, lesbian. When we see these things, we see ourselves. So Mexican people get to see themselves represented. One of not just any little throwaway character, one of the first super people, and somebody important, Namor. Um, now, Angus also agreed with me. I agree that Atlantean Wakandan war might lose its place in the story. Yeah, I've got faith that they will pull it off, but it's a little bit harder to figure out how. And Angus said, "I want a God's damned underwater temple of the sun ziggurat." Yeah, I don't know what the ziggurat is, but oh, okay, here we are. Angus says again, having grown up with full representation in media and government, I can say with confidence that representation kicks ass. Everyone should try it. Yeah, you want to see yourself. You know, you want to see people who may or may not have the same struggles that you do. Let's see yourself, and I say, yeah, let's do it. Let's, you know, like Angus said, everybody should have some. You get representation, and you get representation. Everybody gets representation. Yay! All right, let's look at this schedule real quick. We got Thor: Love and Thunder, July 8th, coming up on us real quick. Okay, and I'm gonna put this up here. Maya pyramid, a ziggurat is a stepped pyramid. Okay. I think, you know what? I'll save it for the Namor video that I'm going to do because I need to write it down. I think I saw something. Namor video pyramid. Got to make sure I remember. Okay. So we got Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the next movie after Thor Love and Thunder. That one has been wrapped, like we just said, and it comes out November 11th, 2022. And then that's it for the movies this year for the MCU. And then next year, we jump off February 17th, which I kind of thought was a mistake. Because Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I mean, the original Black Panther movie did so good in Black History Month. I would have thought that they would want Black Panther Wakanda Forever to come out in that Black History Month slot. But okay, it is what it is. We're going to get Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where we will probably get formally introduced to Kang the Conqueror. That one is coming out February 17th, 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming out May 5th, 2023. And the Marvels, Captain Marvel 2 is coming out July 28th, 2023. So, and the Marvels, of course, we will see Ms. Marvel will be introduced to that character, who is, by the way, a Muslim superhero, young lady. We're going to see her through a Disney Plus series It'll be called Ms. Marvel. It's coming out June 8th, 2022. So we're going to meet her, and then we'll see her again in the Marvels, that Captain Marvel 2 movie in July of 2023. Then we're going to look at what we got for DC. Now, we've already had the Batman. Fantastic. I'm still mad. The Batman, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness recently passed the Batman as far as the top movie for 2022. And I'm telling you, it's because of that 45-day window that the WB had. That Batman should have been a billion-dollar film. It still might, but it should have been a billion-dollar film. But they pulled it in 45 days and they put it on HBO Max. And I don't know. Is it increasing subscribers? I wouldn't know, but I do know that it would have been $1 billion in the box office or more. Okay, Angus is echoing what a lot of people in the fandom are feeling. He said, I'm torn on how they're doing Miss Marvel's powers, but then I don't ever like her. I didn't ever like her original power set to begin with. She's a character, number one, that I'm not 100%. I read a lot about her. I wasn't 100% familiar with. Kind of newer. She, her powers could be mixed up with Mr. Fantastic just a little, where when she's, the stretching and that such. So I like the fact that it does add a level of, to use your word again, distinction between her and him. What is driving her powers, which is the mist of Terrigen. She's got a little of that mist in her. She is basically an inhuman, right? So what drives her power would be different than what drives Mr. Fantastic's power. And I like the fact that they tied it to that bracelet, because of my understanding is that the bracelet was something that her grandmother passed down, but in this trailer that we saw for Ms. Marvel, it was more or less like she was like, her mom was like, that's just some junk. And she put it on, and then bam, it woke that inhuman Jane up in her. And now all of a sudden, she's a superhero. Okay. Angus said, Kamala Khan is a good girl. She deserves good things. She's pure hero material. Yeah. And, the presentation, I'm liking it. The way that they're presenting it as her being just a massive super fan of Captain Marvel. And maybe that's why she has that hero instinct, because she relates completely with the superhero culture. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, even though I think that it is not aimed. I am not the target demographic for that show, for sure. But I'm going to watch it, and I hope I'll enjoy it. I hope I'll enjoy it. Now, back to DC and their schedule for the rest of 2022 and part of 2023. We've already gotten to Batman. I've already fussed and went on my mini rants about the Batman should have been $1 billion movie. Always. If Spider-Man almost made $2 billion, Batman should almost make $2 billion. They are equally iconic. They are the two most recognizable superheroes, at least the last time I checked. They are the two most recognizable superheroes in the world. If you pull out a Batman and a Spider-Man toy, kids will be able to name both of them. So I was a little bit upset. And then, okay, but the movie was fantastic. So I love the movie. Then we move it into DC League of Super Pets, which is some shit that I'm not even the least bit interested in. But again, I'm not the target demographic. This movie might make $2 billion. It's coming out July 29th, 2022. And the one I've been waiting for literally, I was talking on our Discord, and if you're not a member, I suggest that you join. But if I was saying on the Discord, I was literally in my 30s when uh when Dwayne Johnson was announced that he was going to be playing Black Adam. I'm 49 years old now. I was in my 30s when they announced that casting. They started talking about that movie every year. They're talking about this movie. And then I got to the point where I was like, they've been threatening us with this movie for a decade. They ain't made no moves yet. And now finally this year, after many delays, we getting Black Adam. So the release date on that is October 21st, 2022. Whew. Thank goodness. Finally, that movie. Then we get Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which has been enveloped in a bit of controversy here lately. We're getting that March 17th, 2023. Now, that was set to come out in December of this year. But, you know, they came up with some old bullshit excuse of why they had to push everything till next year. But a little bitty part of me says they don't want to face off with Avatar in December. And there was another movie coming out in December as well. But I know that Avatar 2 movie is coming out in December. And in Aquaman, you know, you don't want to share the box office with something like Avatar that has been, what is it, the biggest box office in film history? Now we ought to put a little asterisk by all of these films, because I'm understanding. I know they upped the price for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They upped the price for the Batman on tickets at some theaters, at some cinemas. They upped the price of Spider-Man No Way Home. So those had elevated prices. They charged us more to go to those movies. But anywho, what was I going to say? Oh, so Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom enveloped in that Amber Heard and Johnny Depp fiasco. We talked about that a little bit last week. So I'm not going to go into it today because it's a mess any damn way. But yeah, I think that Warner wants to see if they need to scrub some of her out of this movie. That they need to have time to, if it turns out and she loses this lawsuit, that she will need to be scrubbed. I don't know that. That's a rumor. That's me speculating. It's an allegedly, but I do believe that that is why we are getting such a delay. They want to be able to take her out. And they already said that her part really wasn't that big because she and Jason Momoa kind of lacked chemistry. And I feel like, you know, she should lose something. I talked about it last week. I don't want to speculate too much more. We're going to wait to see what happens with this lawsuit. However, neither one of these characters or these people, because it literally sounds like some movie shit, though. So I'm calling them characters because it seems like they're playing caricatures of themselves. Neither one of them are going to come out of this smelling like roses. Neither one of them. They are the worst type of entitlement and excess in professional acting. Yeah, I believe that. But anywho, speaking of struggling, The Flash is also being enveloped in controversy due to the antics of Ezra Miller. And they have been behaving badly. Uh, I've talked about it. I talked about it again. I talked about that last week. So all of that stuff is in the archives. I don't want to just continue to beat the dead horse. The Flash will probably be the last time that we see Ezra Miller in the role, the titular role. And if they make this kind of a multiversal film, which it looks like they're doing, they have an out. They have a built-in out of why Barry Allen will look different, or they can introduce us to the Wally West Flash. That's either way. You can do whatever you want. But we're going to get this movie June 23rd. And I don't know if there was any plans to try to make any changes to the character or the actor playing the character. I think they're going to roll the dice and try to keep things the way it is and hope people turn out. But yeah, bad press surrounding that movie. Bad, bad, bad. So last but not least, this is last but not least. And I'm going back to the sour shit. Okay, yeah, we're going to end on a low note, but it's a high note because we get to talk about it. We get to discuss. We get to discuss this. Lucasfilm warned Moses Ingram about racist trolls. Now, I need to look this young lady's name up. This other young lady. Now, this is Moses Ingram, and you know that she will have a role, and it seems to be a kind of important role in Obi-Wan Kenobi, which, by the way, I forgot to mention because I've been talking about the comics. Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming out this week on the 27th, right? 2 episodes. They're going to drop 2 episodes on the 27th. Then we'll get also Angus, I saw that out of the corner of my eyes. You just ruined my train of thought. Oh, we're also getting Stranger Things that day. So if you guys want to join me on Sunday when we do talk about these things, we will be talking a little Stranger Things, a little Obi-Wan Kenobi, and also Star Trek Strange New Worlds, because that is fantastic as well. So yeah, we're getting this movie this week, or not this movie, this television show this week. And Lucasfilm, when they sat down with this young lady, told her that she was going to face some a lot of backlash, and it would be due to racism, right? And I wonder to myself, why is this normal? Why? Okay, I know Lucasfilm did what they had to do, much like the writer and the people around, what is the name of it? Percy Jackson and the Olympians. That they made some casting, right? And I'm trying to find her name. There was a young black actress that they cast. Let me see. They cast a young lady as, I'm still trying to find it, and I'm thinking that I can say it faster. No, okay, that's her name. She's going to be playing Annabeth in the show. Annabeth had previously been played by a white young lady, and in the books she was described as a white young lady. But in the name of, I'm going to give the person who they wanted anybody to try out for this role, and in the interest of giving the best audition the job, they gave the job to a little black girl. Her name is in, I just had her. Her name is Leah Jeffries. I gotta look it up again. Leah Jeffries. Gosh, why is this playing with me? My computer playing, y'all. Okay. Yeah, Leah Jeffries is a little girl, like and people wondering why the little girl was trending and all this stuff. She was trending because she was cast as Annabeth in this stupid show. It ain't stupid. The show ain't stupid. And the people who are making the show are obviously very concerned about her because they warned her as well that there will be backlash, and people, grown ass people, are coming for this little girl over her getting this casting. And I'm trying to find her age, okay? Because I she's been being bullied quite a bit over being cast as Annabeth Chase in this Percy Jackson series. So I'm like, and again, the writer of this series, he came to her defense and was like calling the people just what it is. It's racism if you come at a child and say that she shouldn't be able to do something, and the only reason that she shouldn't be able to do it for this fictional character, it's not like she was playing Chelsea Clinton. She's playing a fictional character. And you tell that child that she can't do it because she's black. That is racist. Again, just like Moses Ingram, she's playing this role in Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's black. There's a problem with that. Why? It's only racism. That's the only thing it can be. It's racism. Uh, we had it's racism. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. It's racism and sexism. How about that? It's both. Because we had Lando Calrissian, we had him original Lando, not Donald Glover. Even though Donald Glover, I liked him in the role. I didn't hate the Solo movie. Hot take, right? But in the where was I going? Yeah, we had Lando Calrissian back in original. That was a God. I'm gonna lose my black card for this. What is his name? Not Denzel Washington. What is his name? Really good looking, older black actor. Was like kind of a ladies' man. He had that vibe. What is his name? Please, somebody tell me. Please. Because I've lost, I can't even think of it. That's a goddamn shame. Y'all just pull my card. Just take it. Edgar said, that'd be a fun view of the Clintons. I'm done for it. I'm down for it. And bring in Uncle George too for some funk. And he gave me Billy D. Williams. That is his name. God. An icon. How did I forget Billy D. Williams' name? But yeah, Billy D. We had him. And I was like, there, that's one Negro too many. So no, we need to see ourselves again. And if there are people who sat through every, and I'm talking black people, y'all, black folks, we sat through every Star Wars movie, every single one, just looking for somebody to look like us. No, we weren't. We were enjoying the movies, but we did notice it ain't too many of us in there unless they are under all this makeup. It ain't too many of us. Then we got that terrible Jar Jar Binks character. And now we've gotten a nice lineup of good black characters. Good or great, depending on how you look at it. Some people didn't like Finn. Okay. And it was because he was black. No. So we starting to see diversity in the casting of Star Wars a little bit more. I'm really glad about that. It is a reflection of the times that we are in, but it should never, ever, 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 ever be a normal occurrence for somebody to have to sit down in a meeting when they get a job and be warned, oh yeah, it's going to be some racism. And I'm not saying there's anything that Lucasfilm, Disney, or whatever, they can't do anything about that except for not cast black people. But who wants that? So yeah, this is not normal. And I'm telling you, we should shame people. We should really shame people. Well, they wouldn't feel it though. They would feel no shame. They would feel no shame about the way they're making these people feel. I was really pissed about the little girl. In fact, I'm gonna pull her little picture up because it's a gosh darn shame that people are doing that, treating this child like like I don't know, they're upset because she got cast and she's a little kid. I just don't get it. And as soon as I find the picture, I'm gonna share it. Yeah, it don't make sense. Don't make sense at all. And let me see if I can get this open in a new tab and show you guys what the heck I'm talking about. Because it don't make sense. And grown folks ought to be ashamed of themselves, y'all. If you were attacking this child because she wasn't who you wanted in this role, you should be ashamed of yourself. Oh shoot, I think I did. I think I closed it. You know I suck, right? Y'all didn't know that. If you didn't know, now you know. Open in a new tab. Let's take a look at it. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to load, Angus says the side stuff has a woman of color as Grand Admiral after the Empire falls. Grand Admiral Sloan. And Angus said, I didn't have a problem with Idris Elba as Heimdall. I have even less problem with black folks cast in modern Greek mythology. Greece is damn close to Africa. It's fine. Yeah. And besides that, I mean, as long as if I could understand if it was a fiction, I mean, if it was a real person and they just gender swapped a real person. Oh, you can't do that. How do you have Daniel Day-Lewis play Martin Luther King in a movie? How would that be? Or how would you have Viola Davis play, again, I'm going back to Hillary Clinton. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So only when it's real people do I have a big issue. Here's this little girl. In fact, these are the top 3 people who were cast. This is that young man in the middle. That's the one that played in the Adam Project. Did a fantastic job playing the younger version of Ryan Reynolds' character. And then this young lady is Leah. And the other young man, gosh, his name is Arian Simhadri. So he's going to star as Grover. Leah Jeffries is going to play Annabeth. And Walker Scoble is going to play Percy. So this is our cast. And these are children. Just imagine, imagine being the child that's getting the backlash. That's first. But then also imagine being her co-worker. Her co-star, little Walker Scoble. Imagine being him. And the other co-star, Arian, what is his name? Arian, I forgot because it's a Simhadri. Arian Simhadri. Imagine, how do you feel? How do you console her? How do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's terrible. Angus said, think Zeus doesn't go after a woman because her skin is dark. Zeus didn't care. And he says that Leah is adorable. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the child for sure. It's something wrong with the people. And it's a shame that this is normalized. It's also a shame that it's normalized. Like I got to have a meeting with the people in charge, all the folks, and say, we're going to cast you because you're the best person for this job. Even the author of the books, Rick Riordan, he was part of this meeting where they was telling her, hey, you knocked this interview, you knocked this audition out the park. We're hiring you because you're the best person for the job. This is not a diversity hire. But the world is going to think that the only reason that you got this role is because you're Black, for diversity reasons. And no, it's just they just chose the best people for the role. Yes, Angus. And this you're going to be the last word on it, sir. He said it's fine, let the actors do their jobs. Now, if it turns out this was a mistake, this child didn't do well with this, well, we won't ever know because she's already been hampered and hindered by the racism. But anyway, Angus said, it's fine, let the actors do their jobs. They won the role for a reason. It's fine. It's fine. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's fine. Now, I have run through all of my talking points for the day. If you guys have anything, I'm gonna ask that you go ahead and put it in the comments below. And I'm going to ask if you, what was I going to ask? Oh, to join me Saturday. That's right. I'm going to be here Saturday at 3 p.m. For the weekly wrap up, where we are going to finish off the week in entertainment news. I got a hair in my eye. It's driving me nuts. We're going to finish off the week in entertainment news. We're going to talk about whatever happened between tomorrow and Saturday, right? And then you can join me on Sundays. You can do that for Stream Something Sundays. That's at 6 p.m. Central Time. Again, this week we're going to have 3 shows to discuss. We got Stranger Things. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. And of course, we've got Strange New Worlds. So those things are on our docket. I do take donations and shit, super chats, and hero ways. They're going down at the bottom. If you like to support the show in any of these ways, feel free. I don't bite. So yeah, give you an opportunity to get your comments in, your last words if you got anything, because I'm wrapping up. If you'd like to send me ideas of things that you want me to talk about, topics, suggestions, feedback, news articles that you would like for me to discuss that are appropriate for the show. So not just any damn thing. I mean, I might send it in. And if I feel like it's appropriate, I will add it to the show. I'll do that. And last but not least, you can support me on Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Tasha Pierce. That's me. So I got no further comments from the audience. Great, y'all. It has been fun. I'll see you guys on Saturday, and hopefully everyone will join me then. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Peace.